How do you rise from the ashes when life knocks you flat? Even the sharpest minds crash and burn. No amount of planning stops life from sucker punching you when you least expect it. But here's what separates the quitters from the legends: how you weaponize your downfall. 500 years ago, an ancient general named Sun Tzu cracked the code on turning chaos into opportunity. His battle-tested strategies aren't just for armies, they're your secret weapon to dominate life's wars. Hello everyone, welcome to the Strategy Wisdom Growth Club, a channel dedicated to cracking the truth about emotions and human nature. Remember to like, subscribe and turn on the bell so that you won't miss my new videos. Here's how to outsmart adversity like a master tactician. First, we must figure out what kind of environment we are in. Even if it is bad, we must figure out how bad it is. The more carefully the situation is analyzed, the more targeted measures can be taken. Sun Tzu summed it up brilliantly: therefore, there is no war in scattered land, no stop in light land, no attack in disputed land, no interruption in communication land. Joint communication in crossroads, plunder in important land, travel in flooded land, plan in besieged land, and fight in dead land. Second, accumulate favorable factors and conditions, and change the unfavorable situation step by step. Liu Bei, who was familiar with the art of war, once said that, not doing good things for small things, was the secret of his ability to fight again and again after repeated defeats and regroup for many years. In addition, after the long march, the Red Army's strength was greatly reduced compared to before. The ability to grow stronger again was closely related to Chairman Mao's creative promotion of the principle of moving when it is beneficial and stopping when it is not. The spirit of protracted war, of accumulating small victories into big ones and exchanging space for time, was crucial to defeating the seemingly powerful Japanese at that time. Third, whether an organization can get out of trouble depends on whether the leader can successfully decompose the organization's life and death problem into the life and death problem of the individual. The seemingly simple problem of breaking the whole into parts is indeed the key to whether the organization can exert its huge energy. After winning the Battle of the Last Water, Han Xian quoted the art of war to explain his actions: throw it into a desperate situation and then survive. And put it in a deadly situation and then survive. If you can put the masses into harm, then you can win or lose. Sun Tzu lived in an era of low productivity, and people's ability to overcome natural obstacles was very weak compared to today. Therefore, some of the experience summaries of marching may be slightly outdated, but we should be humble and try to extract the principled and strategic thinking methods as much as possible and apply them to real business life. First, Sun Tzu took stock of the geographical environment of the main possible routes of marching: mountains, rivers, swamps and plains. Why do these environments have such a big impact on marching? Borrowing Clausewitz's summary, the resistance faced by marching in these environments is different. For example, in the mountains, Sun Tzu pointed out that high is good and low is bad, because the gravitational potential energy consumes the physical energy of personnel, and the potential energy is greater at a higher position. And seizing the commanding heights means completing the reserve of potential energy in advance before the war, so as to release it in wartime. The river flows because the river water is affected by the gravitational potential energy. When crossing the river, the advancing formation of the troops is disturbed by the water flow. Therefore, Sun Tzu emphasized that half of the river should be attacked, that is, to launch an attack when it is halfway through. In this regard, Han Xian has mastered the key points of the art of war. Facing the 200,000 Chu army led by Long Ju, he used sandbags to block the river water in advance to store potential energy. After Long Ju's vanguard crossed the river, he suddenly released the water and cut the enemy into two ends to annihilate them. In fact, the most obvious manifestation of this in business is commercial real estate. A good storefront occupies a place where people must pass through, and uses the potential energy of people passing by to do other things to complete the consumption action. If you always feel that you are very honest and simple-minded, and don't know how to deal with things cleverly, it's all because you know nothing about strategy. Life cannot be without strategy. Welcome to like and subscribe to learn more about strategy wisdom.